I feel like I need to be careful in answering this question.
Wala bang discount?
This happened so many times and I'm so numb to it na.
They make you adjust small details when the deadline is nearly approaching.
Girl, make up your mind.
That's okay as in more money for me.
Hello, I am Andrea Asuncion, an advertising student from De La Salle University, and I've had a couple of experiences as a creative in different organizations inside and outside of DLSU.
Hi, I'm Marian Hukom, also known as Mariani Art, and I'm a graphic artist and illustrator, and a comic artist by craft.
Hi, my name is Kyla and I'm a graphic designer at Canva.
Hi everyone, my name is Joey Reyes and I'm a designer at the marketing agency.
Hi, my name is Jill. I am a senior graphic designer at a startup digital and design agency called Triple PH.
Hi, I am Venazir Martinez and I am a street muralist and a visual entrepreneur by profession.
Hi, my name is Yvette. I am the founder and creative director of a brand strategy and design studio. First thing that I think of is what time is it? Kasi my to-do list depends on what time I woke up.
I usually start my day around 5-ish a.m. and the first thing I do is I check how many hours of sleep I got the previous night before deciding if I should work out or take a walk so I can energize myself before the workday.
I check my phone immediately and see if there are any messages from work or freelance stuff.
I usually start my day thinking, what does this day have in store for me? It's sort of an exercise that I do so that I begin the day with optimism and somehow I'll know that there is something to look forward to within the day.
Definitely coffee. Coffee is part of the process.
Coffee zone is actually my conceptualization phase. Ito yung time na nakatulala ka lang, wala kang ginagawa, kakape ka.
I start drawing kasi when I'm in Photoshop or Illustrator, medyo restricted na yung ideas ko. Pero when I start drawing with my notepad or with my notebook, all my creative juices just flows freely.
I either listen to one of my playlists that will dictate my mood, or I listen to a podcast if I really want to get immersed into something.
I also make sure that I don't lay down in my bed because I can't think of anything when I'm working.
I'm my own boss and I own my time. Working 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. is a nightmare for me, and being a boss of my own profession, I perceive every minute as a never-ending challenge that keeps intensifying.
I really love the act of creating and ideating. I love the process of making things, and I love the challenge of coming up with solutions and ideas and concepts and merging them all together, bringing life to all these ideas through design.
My favorite aspect about my work is working with a lot of brands that I truly love and support. I get to help them gain clarity with who they really are as a brand.
As cheesy as it may sound, but seeing other people happy, it just makes me happy as well. When you see your work out there, it just gives you this sense of accomplishment, and somehow you've contributed, however small it may be, to improving the lives of other people, and I think that's amazing.
When you're in the creative industry, it can be really powerful. We can educate people, we can inform them, we can change their mindset of something, their perspective of something. It's always different, it's always fun, it never gets boring.
Wala bang discount?
Can you design a logo for me? No, I don't just design logos, I create brands. Charts.
I feel like I need to be careful in answering this question.
I hate that when they ask to change something that is in the foundation of your design or your story, because it's gonna mess up the whole flow of things, kind of like a domino effect.
There are clients that are really demanding, na parang they don't think of the feasibility ng mga bagay-bagay.
What triggers me most is when they make you adjust small details when the deadline is nearly approaching.
You'll be like, girl, that's so annoying. Make up your mind.
So let's say there's this hypothetical client that emails at like around 1 a.m. and asks, can we have this by the end of the day?
Oh, kaya naman today, but then the quality or some things will be sacrificed for the sake of having it submitted within the day. We always keep in mind that we'd like to design with intent. You know, it's not as easy as just dragging and dropping.
It involves the trust of the client sa'yo and the respect na binibigay niya sa'yo and the whole creative process. And as an artist, dapat alam mo yung value mo.
The ideal client for me is someone who is communicative and transparent, someone who is open and willing to explore ideas with you, and someone who values your craft and values design.
I think my ideal client is the one with utmost trust and utmost respect sa buong creative individuality mo and sa buong creative process mo.
Someone who's really passionate about their brand, who has a clear vision of who they are, and at the same time sees me as an expert and not just someone na order taker, but someone that is a business partner to them.
Someone who is kind, understanding, patient, responsive, someone who is very detail-oriented when it comes to like endorsements and meetings. And also, very important, someone who pays really good.
I admire clients that are very respectful of everyone's time, yung buhay ng bawat isa sa agency. Because there are clients that are very demanding talaga, and in this line of work, it's always tough. Another one is when a client is very collaborative and supportive of the team. Very rare, so they're a gem.
Well, surprise! It's really not. There are a lot of things that people really don't see. There are things such as researching and ideating and testing out all of these studies and learning all of these tools and just mastering your craft, which in itself is so difficult.
You need passion, attention to detail, you need to be a quick learner, and you cannot just run out of ideas.
This industry is definitely not easy. Everything you see has a creative aspect in it.
Everything around us is heavily influenced by creatives and designers. Like the ads that we see on Facebook, the videos that we watch on YouTube, the websites that we use to shop our essential goods, they're all made by creative people. And it's so unfair that people think that, oh, that's just easy.
Before you belittle the creative industry or before you judge, get to know, observe your surroundings, and you'll actually realize that it contributes more to you than you ever thought.
Wala namang trabahong madali, to be honest, but in the creative industry, it's always tough. Hindi siya puro ganda lang. It's so fast-paced. You have to keep moving lagi. You have to keep up with trends, with news. Mahaba yung process. You have to brainstorm, you have to conceptualize, do the design, get approvals, do presentations, do revisions. So yeah, it's endless. Physically and mentally draining talaga siya.
All these courses are simultaneously easy and at the same time hard. It only depends on one's passion and grit. Being in love with what you do makes all the difference.
First conscious realization that I am a creative person was when I was in high school. I took photos for the school paper. I found myself doing different creative work for projects, and I enjoyed projects that involve videos, designing, art. So then I realized, hey, maybe this is something that I can do.
I think it was way back in elementary when I started writing random stories in my school notebook. And I started copying my brother who also drew. But then I continued it and I became that kid in class, that artsy kid. But then yeah, I realized I was a full creative when I took my course in Benilde, MMA. and I started pursuing comics for real. Those stories came from me, those illustrations came from me, and being able to form something like that made me realize that yeah, I am fully a creative.
When I was in preschool and elementary and high school, yung external influences ko ang nag-engage sa akin into exploring the creative side. Kasi, syempre, mga teachers mo, sila yung magva-validate sa'yo. And I think validation is really the key to honing what you have, your talents, your inclinations. And malaking factor ang external influences mo into becoming who you are now. So what led me into being an artist now is the people around me, my family, my friends, my teachers, they pushed me into this industry.
First, I make sure that I have inspiration to get my creative juices flowing, and I try to insert to these inspirations my personal take on it. Sometimes I try to envision first by sketching the outcome that I have in mind. Then I proceed with integrating what my clients really want.
I think one of the most frustrating things na kinakalaban ng mga modern creatives natin ngayon is yung client intrusion. As much as possible, yung mga works ko for myself and for the community ay stays original. But of course, not all the time ay personal or original work mo. As much as ayaw mo yung client intrusion ay mangyayari talaga, you have to have a common ground and meet halfway.
What I do is I just focus on my strength rather than trying to do everything all at once. I focus on what I love doing, which is branding. And with that, when I started focusing on my strength, yung mga worries ko na hindi ko kayang gawin, nawala na lang yun because I know that this is my strength, this is what I'm good at, and I don't have to be like everybody else. I don't have to be good with this, good with that.
I wouldn't really say anything is original, as what Austin Cleon said. Everything is a remix of things or something like that. And I do believe that to be true. But I've learned over the years to choose the work that lights me up and gets me excited, which I do recognize is a privilege on its own, but when I do get the opportunity, I definitely go for the projects that actually excite me and that I actually genuinely want to do.
When I'm working on a personal project, I try my best to put all of my feelings and emotions in there. I try not to critic it too much. It doesn't really matter for me kung maganda siya or pangit. Ginagawa ko lang siya as a reminder for myself na when I look at it at some point in my life, I'll remember yung moment, yung feeling that I had when I was doing that certain artwork. It's always about feelings and emotions for me.
When you get a lot of projects, it may get confusing because every project is unique in their own way. They have different branding. Also, being so fast-paced, like you only have a minimal amount of time to rest.
Especially now with technology and we're all transferring to the digital landscape since we're all stuck at home. So as an illustrator, for example, in the art PH community in Twitter, you have to be updated with the trends, the hashtags, you have to post every single time to keep up with the algorithm.
The people outside the industry, they think na whatever we can do, they can do it also because, everything is accessible na to them and a lot of softwares are very easy na for them to use. Pero what they don't realize is a lot of research and conceptualization goes into every design and artwork that we put out.
What I dislike the most is the lack of appreciation of majority of Filipinos when it comes to the field of the arts. And yung experiences mo na belittlement being an artist here in the Philippines. I chose the medium street art para i-debunk yung ganong perception, yung ganong belittlement na nangyayari sa ating mga artists. So being a street artist, as much as possible, I try to democratize art in every stroke I can.
I think a lot of creatives don't see their value, and maybe other people also don't see the value of creatives. You know, you hear a lot of stories of freelancers or young creatives being lowballed or even ghosted by clients, and that's really difficult. I feel for them because, you know, I've been there and no one should experience that.
We all work so hard to be here, and people shouldn't take advantage of the fact that creative people are very eager to take in work because they love what they're doing.
I used to work in an advertising agency here in the Philippines, and I must say I met a lot of people who glorify or parang they give some kind of badge of honor to those people na burn out na, nagbe-breakdown, na sobrang stress na. And I really hated that fact. How could you normalize such thing? Kahit saan mo siya tignan, mali talaga siya. It's physically and mentally unhealthy.
All I have to say is just show up. Consistency and presence is key in a visual industry like this. You have to let people know that you're here, and you have to do that by putting out work. Also, please don't tire yourself. Take breaks. Take care of yourself. Take care of your body, and through that, your work will also translate.
I encourage you to just try and try because experience would also help you grow with passion. People around you are also important because they can be bridges to reach potential clients. So don't be shy to share to them what you're passionate to do. Grab every opportunity you can, and in no time you'll be confident with what you do and will enjoy while thriving in success.
You are a work in progress, so never doubt yourself and just trust the process. Also, take it till you make it.
Number one, your small ideas can always progress into something bigger than yourself, more than you can ever imagine. And trust the process. Also, don't think too much kasi thinking begets self-doubt, and self-doubt gets you self-conscious. And being self-conscious kills so much creativity in you. Pangalagaan mo ang identity mo. Kasi having a strong showcase of identity and having a strong sense of self-determination is to have power and control over your own life. As an artist, you have to be out there and you have to show who you are to other people, to the world.
You shouldn't be afraid to get your work out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the best. As long as you start doing it, you're gonna thank yourself soon because you're gonna see how much progress you've made in the next few moments. I think it's really hard to give advice to other creative people out there, especially I'm also someone who is still navigating around the industry. But one thing that I would like to remind everyone is the importance of rest. The greatest investment, I think, is not our computers. It's not the software. It's actually our mind and our body. We won't be able to use all those resources if we're not well rested. We can't do all these amazing works if we're burnt out.
You're not for everyone. That would be my advice, because your artwork or your design skills, your design style is not for everyone. You don't have to change your art style para lang mag-fit in ka sa gusto ng ibang tao. Just keep on focusing on that specific strength that you have, and then look for people who needs that kind of strength of yours. Your expertise is not for everyone, and that's okay.
Respect the process and respect your own process. Don't compare yourself to others. And if you are gonna compare yourself to the previous version of yourself. There's always room for growth, and you can always acknowledge your weaknesses, but recognize your strengths, celebrate those, and just do you.
We hope you learned a thing or two about the lives of our fellow creatives out there. Truly, there is a lot more to this job than meets the eye. Just always remember to be kind, believe in yourself, and trust the process. And that concludes this episode of School of Scoop. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in our next video. Bye! Hello there!
A little zing to it. Ano daw?
Great things are done by a series of small things brought together. Pero hindi sa akin yun, kay Van Gogh yun. Baka ma-plagiarism. What I mean to say is just do it. Sabi nga nung Nike,